rappers and producers, having a lack of funds is no longer an excuse in 2018. Let's put an end to that right now. Let's talk about it. Rappers and producers, ever since the beginning of my career, when I first began rapping, first began producing, I was like many of you in that I looked around at my peers and those who found success, and I equated their success always to having more funds, having more resources, right? I've talked about in videos that, Tony Robbins always says that it's not about not having enough resources, it's about being resourceful with what you do have. So from that mindset, when I saw other people who had more funds, I said, you know what? Money or an investor is just not in my cards right now. I even if it was a possibility, I still grinded as if it just wasn't even going to be even there, right? So didn't ever have anybody invest into me early on. When it came to my equipment, I had to get my job at Quiznos and buy, my music equipment. I bought some speakers from Walmart. I bought, y'all heard the story a million times. I bought, the PlayStation game and, this drive that I put into my PC so that I can, get a clean signal from my beats or whatever. But I never let lack of funds be an excuse. I felt like it was a cop-out, right? And so when I start to hear producers or rappers come to me and say, man, how do I not even creatively, how do I even, put myself out there? How can I compete with everybody else when everybody else got money? It's the wrong way to think about it entirely. You're thinking about scarcity first, and it's literally blocking every blessing that you have coming in. Let me let you know the mindset that I had. I knew that I could not afford to buy, higher quality sounds such as, sound effect sounds. I used to love making skits on my albums, and I used to have somebody feet steps walking, and I used to have like kids playing in a park or whatever. Like I used to do that stuff because I was my own engineer, my own mixing and mastering, which once again was an example of me not waiting for me to have money to pay somebody to do it. I just had to learn it. So I got there and I said, you know what? I can't afford to pay for a sound effects package, but I got feet and I got a shoebox and I got 2 shoes. So I put the true story. I put the microphone up. I put my shoebox up there, and I basically had my shoes walk on top of the shoebox, right? I'm not saying it was the greatest thing in the world, but that mindset is something that was ingrained into my nervous system, and it's something that I hold today. Before I figure out who I can pay for something, I'm trying to figure out, is there a way that I can do it myself? Okay, what does it require for me to try to figure out to do this myself? Okay, what things are out of my ability? Okay, what things can we do first for no money before we even decide to put a penny into it? You may call it cheap, I call it being resourceful. So even when it came to graphic arts and my CD covers, I could not afford at that time to pay somebody to do the kind of graphic arts I wanted to have on my particular albums. So I learned Photoshop. I know it sounds a lot easier said than done, but I got on tutorials on YouTube, and step by step I looked and I said, I want to know how to get my text not to look cheesy like, word art. And I said, okay, well, now that I looked that up, now I can figure out, okay, that's how you do it. Okay, cool. Step by step, I started honing in. And basically, it's almost like looking at yourself before you go to the gym and you say, I want to work out, my pecs. I want to work out, my biceps. I want to work out certain parts of your body that you just look and say, I want to master that. You can't go in there and every day do legs and arms and it's going to just blow up like that. That's not how your body works. Your body needs recovery time. So that being said, you focus in on certain sections, do certain exercises that help you. In the same mindset that somebody going to the gym does that to sculpt their body, you can sculpt your career the same exact way. You don't need all the money in the world to do this. Now, yes, things require money. And I'll be real with you. When I first got FL Studio, I did not get the legal version of FL Studio. I definitely had a version that a homie installed on my computer, and I just kept it to every computer, after that. And, now, of course, I have a purchased version of FL Studio. So shut your ass up. I have a purchased one. And as I start to move forward, I purchased a lot of things I couldn't afford initially, but I had to get it done. I'm not telling you to go out there and do something illegal. But I'm just saying, if you got to get things done, you got to get things done. You have no time to wait. You're worried about competing. See, the biggest thing is when you have rappers and producers that are like, man, how can I even compete with? Who are you worried about? Why are you worried about everybody else? You're trying to compete with everybody else. Everybody else don't have your problem or even your abundance. Forget the problem. They don't have your abundance. You're abundant in some kind of nature, whether it's your personality. You have a lot of personality. You're very charismatic. You got something that somebody with $1,000 budget cannot have. They can't even buy a personality. You have that. So how do you leverage a personality for free? Do YouTube videos. Fam. Okay, what kind of YouTube videos in, Curtis? I don't know. What are you a fan of? What are you a fan of? What do you watch? You watch vlogs? What's your favorite vlog? You found one? Cool. Copy it to a T. And so you start to dislike some things about it. Then you start to find your own voice. No more excuses. Lack of funds is not an excuse. Her dad said no. Some lady was just talking right now. But having a lack of funds is no longer an excuse. I'm sorry, I got a little distracted. She was loud. But anyways, having a lack of funds is not an excuse, and I hope that you get this wrapped around your brain, especially in this year. Now, when you're talking about having funds to compete with somebody, that's your whole focus, is trying to have enough money so that you show as visible as somebody else. You're not at that level right now. It's almost like looking for cheat codes on level 18 and you still on level 4. You don't have the same obstacles as level 18. Focus on what you got right now. Be more resourceful for what you got right now. You can't pay for Facebook ads. Okay, learn what kind of content that you put out that gets the highest visibility and the most engagement. I'm guaranteeing you, even if it's not as much as, a Kevin Hart parody account gets, it doesn't matter. You have content that your audience, your particular demographic says, I like when you post photos of you and your family. Guess what? You better involve something with you. I'm not saying, exploit your family, but I'm saying you need to post more of that. They love to see the family side of you. They're literally giving you the game. You ain't got to pay for nothing. They're giving you mentorship without even telling you what they want. They're basically telling you in a very subtle way, but here's the thing. You literally have the answer right in front of you. Start to look at other concepts like, maybe you're a rapper who, happens to cook. Think about Action Bronson. Who would have known that the man was like damn near the chef? We wouldn't have known it had he not shared that part of what he does. It doesn't require money for him to show he's a chef. It just requires a camera. If you're watching this video right now, that tells me you have some kind of device that allows you to be on video somehow, some way. If it's a laptop, you got a webcam. If it's a phone, you got a phone camera. These phone cameras is really great quality now. I feel old saying that, but they're really good quality now. This damn thing shoots in 4K. So that being said, having no money is not an excuse no more. You need to be more creative. Here's the thing about it. You may think that you have a lack of money. It may be a complete reality. I'm not going to sit up here and act like that's not something that can hold you back. It can hold you back from reaching those other levels, but you don't need those other levels until you appreciate what you have already and basically maximize upon the resources of what you already have. Because what happens is, and what I've noticed is that as I outgrew Music Generator and I really started mastering it, for some reason, life around me started to elevate itself with me. So as I grew, life around me started growing. Resources started growing. People started coming around. And I was like, yo, man, you're getting really dope with those beats. Let me pay you for a beat. Cool. I sold 5 beats. Now I can go buy some speakers from Walmart. Crazy how that happens, right? So what you should concern yourself with is really, and it's another video I'm going to probably make next week, but really start approaching the business of music with the same creative energy and juice that you approach your music with. If you do that, you're indestructible. Stop thinking that, that the money is separate from the art. There should never be that conversation. If you are an artist or creative, you can't do things any other way. So you need to figure out how to finesse this game. Finesse the same way that you learn how to become a great lyricist, a great songwriter, a great, a producer of pop beats, R&B beats. Figure out how you can be the same kind of connoisseur of business, your particular business. Figure out how you can use these same creative juices that the man upstairs blessed you with. Use that into your business game. You'll be a trailblazer. in comparison to other people who have gone to business school and they have all the suits and ties and things that say that they can do great business. You'll go way past them because of the energy that you already had, and you already know the process of how an idea grows. How does somebody become better at what they do? Use that same energy. Stop worrying about having a lack of funds. Start thinking about, you know what? I don't have a lack of funds, but I do spend my money on dumb shit. How about that one? You got money for, you got money for certain shoes. You got money for certain games. Maybe you play Xbox, whatever you do. You got money for that. You got money. The problem is that you have not sat there, and it took me some time to, I'm not going to sit up here and judge you. It took me some time to realize that I'm putting my attention into the wrong things, and people don't lose their money. You ever had a good sum of money that you got maybe for Christmas or a birthday? You notice that even when you consciously say, I'm being responsible with my money, I'm not going to be crazy with it, you don't lose your money in large sums. It's not, you don't get $500 and then, go ball out on $450 pair of shoes. That's not how it happens. It's those $10 purchases, 15. Maybe you went to Walmart to go get toothpaste and you came back with a bag full of stuff. Let's just say Target for this example because they're more expensive. And you came back with $25, $30 worth of stuff that you really don't need essentially to live. You're not being resourceful with what you have. No more excuses. Having a lack of funds, especially with all the things you have. You don't have internet? Go to a McDonald's. They got free Wi-Fi. Go to Starbucks. Go buy apple juice. They're like, when I went, there was like $1.25. Buy that and sit there and use their internet until they kick you off. You got it. You don't have a computer. You know somebody that has access to some kind of technology. Get your butt into a school. Get into an audio engineering school. Having a lack of funds is not an excuse. You're not being resourceful with the resources that you already have. Once again, it's another Curtspiration. Doodle, you need some more of that juice, please subscribe to the channel below. Be a part of the notification gang. Hey. Thank you for everybody sending suggestions to the Curtspiration suggestion box. If you have a suggestion or a question, go to curtiskingbeats.com/Curtspiration. Send me a question. We'll get to it. I know we got real confrontational in you. I know I shook you up a little bit. That's my 50 Cent face. G-Unit. Anyways, I know things got a little crazy, but I tell you this because I care, and I tell you this because I want you to stop looking at things in a scarcity point of view and look at it like, God, I got an abundance of things around me. I got a roof over my head. I got enough shoes. I got more than enough games. I got more than enough, I don't know, whatever people spend money on. I'm cheap. But, but whatever you got enough of. You got what you need. Now focus on the things that you say that you need, which is success in music, success in whatever things that you do within the music industry. If that's what you really need, then you need to realign the way you think about things and think of it like, I have more than enough of what I need. Now, this music, I'm about to get this popping off, but I gotta be super, I gotta double down on my responsibility when it comes to this. In this life, you will not be full of life until you decide to live to its fullest. Curtis King. CurtisKingBeats.com. More information coming soon about this baby right here. I can't listen to you. When I listen to you, it's a liability. Cause you be mentally killing my inner energy. So I'm concealing my feelings before you injure me.